Hi, welcome to a Chat with Heart podcast. I'm your host, Christina Martin. I'm a singer-songwriter. I live on a dirt road in rural Nova Scotia with my best friend Dale and our calico cat, Olivia. This podcast is totally just a chill chat with heart. As soon as you tune in here, I consider you one of my little heartbeat listeners. I love sharing these personal stories, and recording these episodes are great practice for me to try and calm the fuck down and just be myself. If we just talk about it, we could shine a light, we could break a dark day. If we just talk about it, we can cut away, we can make a brighter day. Okay, hey, welcome back to a Chat with Heart podcast. I've got my friend Laura Simpson here, who is the creator of Make Do Camp. And as some of my little heartbeat listeners know, I am stepping outside of my comfort zone and I am going to camp. I am going to what I think is going to be an incredible experience, although I'm terrified because I don't like camping. But I know it's not like my idea of what camping is. This is a terrible promotion for Make Do Camp so far. So no. Laura's here to tell us more about what Make Do Camp is. And I'm excited to meet new people. I bet there'll be some people there that I know. But Laura, let's tell my little heartbeat listeners, let's remind them why they should go to Make Do Camp and what it's about. Like, where am I going? What's going on?
So Make Do Camp is for grown-ups to go to the Big Cove YMCA camp in Pictou County. It is the oldest overnight camp in Canada, in fact. And usually it's for kids only, but we're taking it over September 24th to the 27th for the grown-ups. And we're going to not only do all of the fun camp activities like canoeing and archery and high ropes course, but we're also doing some really great workshop tracks with the mind, body, spirit themes, and some mini workshops of various kinds, and some offerings like the craft house. You'll be fed, you'll be transported. It's a 3-day unplugged and sober retreat for those who feel like this is something that they need right now.
Amazing. You said sober. Can I bring my escitalopram?
Yes. Okay. If you have prescription drugs, you're absolutely allowed to bring them, but
awesome.
Non-prescription drugs are meant to stay at home.
This is so exciting. So one of the reasons I said yes was because I have a really fond memory of going to science camp and and staying in a cabin with complete strangers and nerds. And I was one of those nerds. I remember crying when I had to leave. I didn't expect that I would cry, but it was such an incredible experience on, so many levels. And I want that again because I think I'm yearning it. I'm pumped. Okay, so you have a big announcement to make to my little heartbeat listeners that you're hearing this for the first time. What's the offering that you have for us today?
So we had offered a couple of different price points. One was the standard pricing. It's $1,000, all taxes in. That includes your food, transport, the workshops, everything. And then we were actually asking also for a sustainer price point, which was $1,250. And the point of that was to subsidize supported spots. So folks who didn't have as much money and wanted to go. We haven't had anyone buy the sustainer spots. So we recognize that this cost, which honestly we've tried to keep as low as possible, at the same time paying the people who are working at the camp. Some of the camp team members are actually doing trades and volunteering. We really are trying to keep costs low, but we still want folks who can't afford the camp price to come. We're going to do a 2-for-1 competition. It is going to be basically 10 spots available for half off. But you have to nominate the other person that you want to take with you and tell us why they deserve to go to camp.
I love it.
And we'll run the contest. All you have to do is basically post a video, talk about the person you want to go to camp, tell us why they're so great and why you think that they might need this kind of thing, and just tag us in the video. Make Do Camp is our handle on Instagram and Facebook. And then we'll repost these submissions so that everyone can share in your joy about your friend. And then on August 15th, we'll close the contest and then we'll decide who gets to go to camp.
Okay, this is cool. This is for brand new signups, right?
Brand new signups, yes.
Brand new signups. I love this. And I'm going. I don't know who I'm lodging with. And that's part of the excitement. What if I get like someone who I just can't stand? At least, or they can't stand me. At least we'll come out of it with some good like gossip stories.
Well, we do a pretty curated job with the cabin selection. So we ask you your preferences about various things, including whether or not you snore.
Oh, good. I don't.
So we make sure that everyone has their own bunk. So there will be only 5 people per cabin.
Nice.
And that means that it's enough space to really give yourself enough room to put your stuff out and just like feel like you have enough room to sleep and have privacy.
You mean like I get the top and the bottom?
That's right. You get the top and the bottom.
At one point, like I would have loved to have slept on the top, but now I'm afraid if I roll out, I might break a hip.
It's possible.
So I think I'll put my stuff on the top, and now I know I have a little more room to bring like all my comfort things. Is there a limit as to how much I can bring?
People brought a lot. I mean, people bring their, sleeping bag, pillows and stuff like that. We do have a bus that we're bringing. It fits 50 people, and then we'll have a couple of ancillary vehicles going as well. But yeah, there's room.
Like, should I bring my record player?
Dude, I mean, that'd be pretty cool.
Like, is there electricity in these cabins?
Yeah, there's electricity in these cabins. And wow, that'd be a fun thing. Say, like, if everybody bought their favorite record.
Yeah, we could have vinyl Christina's cabin. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Oh my God. Okay, let's do this.
Okay.
Now, I have a serious question because, like, I always ask before I bring this because some people are very uncomfortable. But, like, with the idea of, like, tarot cards or Ouija board, like, should I bring...
Oh, yeah.
Should I bring any of those weird items?
Bring it all. Bring it all. I'm sure the people were doing tarot card readings at the last one for sure.
Okay, but what about the Ouija board? Some people are like...
I think it's about consent. Like, I think people just need to like just get some consent for that stuff. And, people want to be.
Laura, I can't bring it.
No, I think that's probably a good choice. We're in the middle of the woods.
It's not even, some people don't even want the box.
Right.
And I'm glad we had this talk.
Me
but
too.
I will bring the tarot cards and I'll bring the more appropriate ones.
Yeah. Okay, great.
Okay. So makedocamp.com.
Yes.
And remind my little Heartbeat listeners again to find all the details for this offering. Where are they going to be posted?
We'll post all the details online. You are literally the first person I'm telling. So depending on when this airs, this may be a simultaneous thing that they see it online and hear it at the same time.
Okay, I love this. I just on Poshmark bought a new Adidas running jacket to wear with my yoga pants for the camp.
You're so cute.
I'm thinking about my outfits already. Don't get too excited, but I plan ahead. I'm so excited. Well, thank you, Laura, for joining me at last minute here and sharing this amazing offering. I'll be at the camp, folks. Please, maybe we could bunk together if you don't snore. And now I'm going to turn it over to my chat with Kev Jet, who I've been so excited to have on the podcast. And thanks again, Laura. Love you so much. And thanks for being a guest on the Chat with Heart podcast multiple times. I love what you do. And I'm so lucky to have you as my we're friends, right?
Oh, I love you so much, Christina. Thank you.
Hi, how's it going?
Oh, welcome to it's going great. Welcome to a Chat with Heart podcast.
I'm glad that we're twinning.
We are. Wait, oh, you're wearing underneath.
I'm not wearing my my tube top or anything, but
I almost wore a pink bra, and you've got a beautiful. I love it. Yeah, we're both wearing lovely shades of pink, rose. Pastels. It looks good on us. Is this your color?
It's my summer 2026 color.
Oh, nice. Yeah, it looks
my
good.
color is normally black, but the more I'm feeling adventurous.
Ooh, Dale is too. He wears more like pastel, shades these days, and brings out the color in his blue eyes.
There you go.
Yeah, you look great. You look tanned. You look relaxed.
Yeah, all of the above. It's we're having a summer in London, which we don't typically get.
Really? Yeah. What do you mean? What's a typical? I've heard about the rain and stuff, and I've been there. But anytime I've been there, the weather has been amazing. So but what is a typical summer?
It's normally gray skies, lots of rain. We're having the opposite. We're having heat waves. We're almost in 40 degrees. So it's a bit crazy.
You got that pool still, right?
Yeah. So we're surviving.
Yeah, that's a savior, because I couldn't last in that. And also, it's not like maybe in your house you have AC, but my understanding is a lot of people do not have AC in the UK.
Most people don't. And so, it's a saving grace. And so we are surviving, but we're still complaining because that's what we do.
Yeah, well, you might as well. It's in our nature. I was remembering, just in getting ready for this a little bit, I was remembering and how did we meet? And Dale was like, how did we meet, Kev? And I was like, well, we have all these people that we know. We'll talk about that, but I didn't know that. And then my memory, which sucks, by the way, I have the memory of a goldfish, but where it started for me was you messaged me when you saw we were going to be in the UK. And then we ended up, you gave us the greatest unofficial walking tour of London. That's my memory of how we met. Am I correct in that?
I think so. I think that a mutual friend told me you were coming over. And I think that's how we were in touch. I'm not sure.
Do you remember who the mutual friend was?
I feel like it might have been Jen Grant.
Okay. See that? I didn't even know that you knew Jen. I thought you were going to say Nancy Regan.
Sure. Yeah, and it was a musician, and then I messaged you and I was like, let's do the tour, and we were like, okay, let's do it, and
it was awesome because when we tour, we're often kind of lazy and tired, and it is really nice to have somebody offer that, and especially a city like London. Where do you even begin, right?
Yeah.
And what do you like giving people? Did you love doing these things for people
it's
coming?
A thing. It's kind of it's been called the Kev Jet tour now because it just happens. And when people are visiting, they always get in touch and they're like, I'm going to be in London. I want to do the Kev Jet tour because they see it on social media now. So I should brand it.
You should brand it, and you could probably, this could be a side gig for sure. I know you didn't charge us, but one of my favorite things on that tour, and I don't remember names of places, but you took us to a little market, and this guy made fudge. And what's that market called?
That was in Greenwich. That was the Greenwich market. And I've been back there several times for that fudge.
That was cool. That was a really fun experience. Yeah. So, okay. So you've been living there long enough now, maybe stop seeing it like a tourist. But what's one thing in London that still makes you stop and think that's fucking incredible?
I think every time I walk past a landmark like Big Ben, I always stop. Or if I'm in a rush and all of a sudden you're stopped because you bump into somebody and then you just happen to look around you and you're like, holy shit, I'm in London.
Yeah.
Like those moments are quite cool because we all have our day to day where we're like in a rush to get from A to B, or we're at deadlines, all those things. But if you actually stop and look around you, and it's a pretty cool experience. Am
I wrong in assuming that I always picture people living in London, everyone's just busy. Like everyone's hustling. Like
always.
and is part of that because it's like just there's so much exciting stuff to do, or is part of it I got to make a living so I can stay in this cool place? Like, I
think it's both. I have so many cool things to do, so I'm rushing from one thing to the next, which is I've learned to say no to some things recently, which has been quite nice. And taking time for myself. But when you are in a rush, everything takes about an hour to get to, no matter where you are in the city. So if you don't account for traffic and problems on the train and you know what it's like. So, it's an hour to get anywhere basically. So you have to fit that into your day. And when your day is long already, can be miserable by the end of the day.
Right. And you live fairly outside of like central London by my terrible memory. But yeah, we had to take.
Well, there was a train strike or something. There was a problem.
There was a problem. It took us a little longer to get to you. Then there was a pickup involved.
There was, the fast trains weren't running, and we depend on the fast trains.
Yeah, like I didn't mind the train ride. It wasn't too crowded when we were on there, but like that's something. And I mean, even just taking like Ubers from Central. Usually when we go to London, we'll stay in Central-ish, and taking either transit or an Uber to the airport. Like like you said, it's a large chunk of your day where you learn to bring a book or have an audio tape. Like, what do you do in those long transit?
That's my admin time.
Okay, that's smart.
So I tend to reply to emails and messages, and I tend to be like editing a video or something. It depends. If I have some admin that I really need to catch up on, I make sure I take the slower train into town. Or I use my time wisely when I'm traveling.
Yeah, I love that. Speaking of just going back a bit, like saying no to things, having more time for yourself. Like you have been super busy. We haven't talked about everything. I have a hard time keeping up with you because life is, I think, very busy for you, and I'm not very good at checking up on my friends on social media because I've sort of made a block for myself to like when we catch up, it's like going to be in person or in this fashion or a phone call or a voice message. But like you've had so many exciting things. I'd love to just start by when we hung out, when we did that London tour, you did not have a podcast. And now you have this really wonderfully successful podcast, Kev Jet. And I want to chat about that and congratulate you because I think you're in season 6 now?
It's season 6, and Kev Jet, the podcast, is turning 3 years old next month.
This is amazing. Like, this is amazing. So compared to when you started and now, how do you think you as an interviewer, conversationalist, like, how's it affected you? Do you think you've changed? Do you think you're the same? Like, what do you think?
I think I've changed in, I've become more comfortable, obviously. And, I'm not afraid to ask a question. I'm not afraid. If I have a question in my mind, I'm going to ask it. And in fact, that's become kind of like my niche. People come on the show, and whether they're promoting a book or a movie, or if they're just on to chat about a certain conversation, they get a little bit blindsided by some of the questions that I'll just come out and ask. And then our conversation goes into a different direction, which is always beautiful and honest and heartwarming and hilarious. We just have a great time. And afterwards, people are always like, wow, I didn't expect that, but I absolutely loved it. And so that's kind of like my thing. And I'm about to record my 200th episode.
That's wild. That's crazy. 3 years. That's what. So you obviously are enjoying it. Like you obviously get a lot from the experience because, it's in like you do other things in your day. You have a full-time job, right?
Yeah.
Tell everybody what my little heartbeat listeners are going to know what you do. And because I'm also trying to encourage people who are doing creative things like you're doing, like I'm doing, to understand that predominantly creators and content creators and artists are working other jobs to fuel this part of their lives and to not be afraid of that. Because I was someone who at one point I was afraid that if I had another job, I wouldn't be the real thing. You know what I mean? And
I totally know what you mean. Yeah. And people just assume because they see you on tour or on stage or, and they just assume that that's just your full-time gig. And it's the same with me. I run into people every day and I'm like, oh, you know what? I'm not really going to have a late night because I have an early start tomorrow. And like, oh, so like what's happening tomorrow? And I'm like, oh, I have work.
Okay. So what's your background with work and what are you doing for work now? Let's tell people. Because I also think that these careers that we have in our background and the things we studied in school and blah, blah, I feel like it all informs who we've become and why we're doing what we're doing. So tell us about that.
So for 20 years, I worked in healthcare. So I've done nursing and throughout those years, I specialized in palliative care. So end of life.
Wow.
Yeah. And now, obviously, I work for a private company here in London. And I'm not doing palliative care, but I'm managing healthcare centers. So, so it's all, I've done my time is what I say to everybody, but, and I'm also going part-time from next week. So I just feel like, there's a mix of emotions with that. But it's best for myself and it's time to start looking after myself.
Talk about the emotions. So what are they? Is it fear? Is it excitement? Is it?
It's anything that you can throw into a pot is what goes through my mind throughout the day.
Does the fear come from like, is it uncertainty? Is it like financially, is this going to work? Like it's
kind of everything, but, it means that I'm leaving my team, which I've had for 11 years. So I'm going to be moving on to manage a different team. And it's all people I don't know. It's quite exciting, but it's going to allow for me to spend more time at home and doing my podcast stuff and have a lot of really cool, exciting things and planned, and I just can't wait to just get stuck in.
Okay, well, first of all, your new team's going to love you. You're very caring. This nursing background makes a 1,000,000% sense to me. You're a very caring, generous, attentive person, conscientious. So yeah, your team's going to love you, and the palliative care side of things is so interesting too. Like what an incredible thing to bring to a healthcare organization, like in a leadership position, right? Because I mean, if you can create the kind of environment for somebody at the end of life that they deserve when they're born and throughout their life, like, and have that standard in your day-to-day work, like to me, it's a huge asset to bring to a team.
Thank you. Yeah. I'm still working with health professionals. So we all, we kind of all understand each other, but we all have different backgrounds and specialties. But it's interesting. It keeps conversations interesting.
Okay. Last time we were texting and you said that you had some exciting things that you might be able to tell me about. And I don't know if the time is right, but Can you spill the beans on any of it?
I think I can. This morning I sat down and I was like, I made a little list of the things that are happening.
Yeah, cool.
Some things I haven't like written out 100%, but I'm like, it's generally there. So
Okay.
I mean, some things have happened and some things are being planned. But yeah.
Well, where do you want to start? Do you want to, because I was going to ask you how you spent your Canada Day. Is that anywhere in the plans?
So let's start there. There. And it's funny enough because you brought up Nancy's name as well. So
yeah, we love Nancy.
We do. And so what happened was last summer, Nancy approached me about being on her TV show, which is aired in Canada, showing up. So I thought, well, you know what? I think I can do something really cool with this. So I invited her to be my co-host in Trafalgar Square for Canada Day.
Amazing.
So she didn't even wait till I finished asking the question. She had her bags packed. She was on a plane. We had a great time, but she brought over her film crew and spent a week with me here. And that's the big highlight of the London side of it. Trafalgar Square, Canada Day, which I do every year. I'm the media backstage. It's quite fun. I love it. It's the second largest Canada Day celebration outside of Canada. So it's just amazing. So they filmed for a week here. Couple months later, I flew home to Nova Scotia and they met me in Wedgeport, Nova Scotia, tuna fishing capital of the world, and filmed for another week. And so the television show will be aired on TV in Canada this fall.
Hey, congratulations. That's a get. That's a really cool experience.
And there is a rumor that, Canada Day didn't happen this year in Trafalgar Square because we've all kind of supported the Maple Leaf Ball, which happened at the V&A, and Nancy happened to come over and host as well. However, the rumor is that Kev Jet and Nancy Regan are hosting Trafalgar Square 2027.
Fantastic news. Wait, the rumor? I think it's just, I think it's a thing. I think, this is actually happening though. This is awesome. This is really cool.
So it's very exciting. And I can't wait. It seems mad because a lot of my life is booking things a year in advance right now. And you get so excited about it. And you don't want to wish your year away because every day is such a gift. But there are some pretty crazy things happen. Getting into that diary that in a year or 2 years down the road. So
it is weird. And that's how I've spent most of my adult life planning ahead, right? Because also when it is your business, and for a long time it was my only business, you feel like you have to do that. You know, people are booking things now too. Sometimes 3 or 4 years in advance. And I would spend like my whole year planning for a Germany tour, all my spare time. And then you go on this tour and then you're so tired and you're like, oh, wait, I have to now start doing this again. Or you're already planning the next one before you even leave for. And it's kind of weird. Like it's not something that maybe people who have the blessing of a 9-to-5 job, you know, like that security, and it really is I always compared it to like, it must be like planning your vacation and you're just kind of living and waiting to go on that vacation. You know, it's really hard to be present.
It's so true.
Then you get to that thing and you do relish it. I think, I have found that.
But I love those projects because you get called on to these Zoom meetings and you're planning ahead and you start these calls, like I said, sometimes over a year in advance. And you're thinking, my God, this is early. And before you know it, you're on that last board call and you're like, well, we'll see you tomorrow, at the event. And it's like, how did this happen so quickly?
I know. It's pretty cool. So obviously your connection to back home in Canada is still very, very, very strong. And I'm curious, has living abroad, has it changed who you are in some way, or has it made made you appreciate certain things more?
I think it's made me appreciate my time at home when I do get to come home a lot more. Definitely. And every conversation I have with a friend or every connection, if I've got 5 minutes where I can connect with someone I haven't seen for a long time while I'm there, I would choose to do that over something that's less important.
Yeah.
I like all those little moments and those conversations and reconnecting. I think those are really important. It's funny because I'm on a lot of Zoom calls with my team here in the UK, and my receptionist said to me the other day, she said, you always wear a Canada t-shirt. It's always something to do with Canada. And she goes, I mentioned it to my friend, and her boyfriend is from Toronto. And he said, oh, well, those Maritimers, they're very proud. So I thought, well, that was a great compliment. So I thought, I'm going to take that. Yeah.
Yeah, we are. I mean, it is a wonderful place to live. So what is it like? Is there something that unique that you miss from here that you just don't get there, or can you just get everything?
I think it's just the trust in people, because I always find that it's difficult to make friends here. I have a lot of acquaintances, and lots of people say, oh my gosh, your social circle is so big. And I'm like, but it isn't. It's acquaintances. At home, they're like your real friends. And I have a really great friends here, but, and that's not taking anything away from that at all. It's just, for some reason in Canada, we just trust each other right away.
Now, this is a chat with heart. And how is your heart? I'm curious.
So, well, interesting enough, my heart it's been struggling in the heat.
Yeah.
Definitely. I do notice that it slows me down a little bit. But knock on wood, if I can find some around here.
I've got some fake wood here.
Things are okay. I have a robotic heart, basically. I have lots of stents that are keeping me going, and lots of medication and a great cardiologist, and it's a recipe for a good life. So
my audience can't see this, but you have this beautiful tattoo of a heartbeat.
It's actually my ECG. Yeah.
Is it? Is that where the heart is?
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's kind of here, to be honest.
Okay. No, that's cool. It looks cool there.
Yeah. I had this printed when I was at the cardiologist after I had my first heart surgery, and when my echo looked normal again.
Yeah.
So that's a perfect looking echocardiogram. And I had it tattooed. So that's my little memory from a very bad time.
I love that tattoo, and a good reminder too, I guess, just of the miracles of modern medicine, and it really does take a team, like, to keep up. I had a very close friend. She's going to be on the podcast, whose heart stopped this year, and she was actually, I think, clinically dead for 10 minutes, and had all the tests, no rhyme or reason, actually, and so they had to implant a device. Not a pacemaker, but something else. And it's quite large, actually. It sits between her skin and her ribs. And, I mean, the whole thing was just absolutely incredible. But the fact that she's alive is incredible. And, but it just, like, I mean, it's changed, that having that experience as a young and healthy person has been, I mean, I will see what she says on the podcast, but I'm thinking one of the most pivotal experiences of her life. Like, she's now having to make choices that are tough in terms of, like, slowing down, and things aren't the same as they were. Like, how has that been for you? You said earlier, that you've had to learn how to say no to things. And how else has, your health impacted? Because I feel you are I want to go do this. I want to go.
Yeah.
And do you just kind of now go, wait a second, like, my heart, what am I going to do for my heart today?
I am a go. And in London, there's so many amazing things to do, and I get some really cool invites, and it's all been a lot of fun. But I have this thing now where I'm just like, okay, you know what? How am I going to get through my normal day and then go do this thing? And then can I do it 3 days in a row? like recently I had events that 3 days in a row, and I also had work, and I had just crazy things happening in life. And I knew that when I got to that fourth day, I was like, okay, this is not cool. I need this day where I'm not going to do anything. I'm not going to take a phone call even. And that's just kind of what I need to do. But going part-time is giving me, everybody's a bit worried because they're like, you're going to plan those days off and you're going to be like cramming things. But my plan is not to do that. My plan is to take those days for myself. So.
Yeah, good. I mean, I'm a big believer too that if we could pay people the same amount and have them work less hours, they would work more efficiently. They would be happier. I mean, I just think people work too long for other people.
Of course.
And I just don't know. I just don't think it's necessary. I do think that there's a lot of time also, not at every job, but like there is time wasted in a lot of positions where people are kind of miserable sitting there. And I don't know. I mean, that's just
so true. It is so true.
I'm excited for this part-time position for you. That's what I've been doing, working part-time now since I think the pandemic, 2021. And it was scary at first to take on anything, but it's, and so like anything, I had to be patient and find a new rhythm and new habits and set limits.
Yeah.
Set boundaries, but you're finding it's working for you, and
it's so far so good. So we're gonna see how it goes, but it's exciting. There's my dogs.
They're the puppies. Introduce them, will you?
So there's Toby and Penelope.
Hey guys, remember me? Do you guys remember me? They're like, no, we do not.
They heard somebody walk through the house, so they're like, who's that? Because I think the band is arriving and going through to the studio. But
was there a band in the studio with Nick?
It's Nick's band, believe it or not.
Oh, cool.
So they're just about to send their new album for final mix, and that will be out in the fall.
Hey, that's really exciting. We got to give a shout out to Nick's band, and also give him a big hug for me. Okay, so remind me what his band is called, because I haven't seen them play live, but nope. I remember when we were there, he introduced us to the band.
That's right.
Music,
they're called IT.
Okay, that's not hard to forget. How could I fucking forget it? Oh my God, my memory is so bad. Okay, so Nick's band is called IT.
Yes.
IT.
Yes.
Really not hard to remember, folks. Go look them up. They have some awesome videos and stuff, live videos too. Yeah.
Their live footage is amazing. Yeah. Well, their live shows are amazing.
Yeah. Well, this is cool. So are they planning something in London?
They are. I think they've announced a tour in Scotland so far. I don't think the London dates are out yet, but if you follow Kev Jet, I'll be sharing all those exciting things.
There you go, everybody. We'll have to hop on a plane to London. I have been dreaming of just going to London, going to England, and not actually working, just going. I've never done that. Travel has always only been possible because there was work involved, and so I daydream about being able to travel and not work.
Exactly. Exactly. You mentioned Germany earlier, and that's one of my little projects that is still a secret. But Kevjet has been asked to get involved with a boat cruise through Germany with an iconic Canadian band.
Okay.
Next year, and Kevjet will be on board this cruise, and I will be the media face for the whole cruise.
What? Okay, but I'm sensing that you can't tell us the band name.
I can't. No, not just yet.
Can you mouth them to me, and then I won't tell anybody?
I'll WhatsApp you.
Okay. Yeah, I won't tell anybody, but I do want to know. And congratulations, that sounds like a blast. So I guess it's not announced yet. Okay, so obviously all things point to listen to Kev Jet. Because they're probably going to be selling tickets for this cruise. Am I right?
They will be. It's not going to be announced for a little bit. It's because the actual date hasn't been marked in ink just yet, but it's all happening. And there are artists on the cruise as well that your listeners are going to know.
I'm going to guess who it is. And like, if you like, thumbs up or thumbs down if I hit any of them, but I won't give it. Okay. Blue Rodeo. Who else is iconic? I don't know, Jan Arden. Who else? What's a Canadian band that, I mean, that's what I tragically hit. It's not going to be them, unfortunately, but,
no.
Okay, well, okay. So yeah, everybody has to listen to Kev Jet to find out.
Yeah, it's going to be great. And it's through Germany, and there's some really cool, excursions planned. It's not your typical cruise. And, I can't say a whole lot more just yet, but
I love
it's going to be great.
Yeah, this is exciting. Okay. Hey, on a very a sad note, I wanted to say I'm sorry for the loss of your grandmother, but I wanted to hear more about her. If you'd like to share some memories of your grandmère. Mamère? Did you call her Mamère? Was she French?
She was French, and she was known as Grand-mère.
Grand-mère. Okay, mine was a Mamère and Pépère.
Yeah.
Grand-mère. Okay. And did you speak French with her?
Maybe as a little child I did. She always spoke French to me and I replied in English. She was very Acadian. So she basically was speaking English.
Aww, yeah.
It was, she was very fiery. She was very stubborn. She was very lovable and caring and, hospitable. She was everything. She was everything to me. She lived, a few doors down from us. And so we would see her several times a day, not just once a day. And, before I moved away, she was starting to get a little bit, she had started with dementia a little bit. And so she was spending winters with us. So she lived with us for the winters. I spent so much time with her, and I was so lucky to be the oldest grandchild and have spent, the most time with her. And it was interesting when I was home for her funeral a couple months ago, and we were stood in the graveyard, and one of my younger cousins was speaking to another younger cousin, and they were saying, we don't really remember, Grand-père, our grandfather. And I started telling them stories about him, and I was like, gosh, how did you not know this about him or that? And then there's just that age difference, and it was just bizarre to me and I kind of felt sad that they didn't get to know them on the same level that I had. Mm-hmm. But another secret, though, speaking about her,
yes,
I brought home some of her ashes to London. And I just thought it felt nice to have her with me all the time. And, but I've been looking at them every day, and I'm thinking, I need to do something with them, but it has to be special. But I can't keep them where they are because it's starting to drive me nuts. And my the eulogy that I wrote for the funeral service was based on the Downton Abbey finale of the film. Because they have Maggie Smith, who plays the Gran. She passes away and the family moves on, but it finishes with the big painting of her in the grand hall at the castle. And it just happened that when I came home with my grandmother's ashes, that I was invited to Highclere Castle, which is where Downton Abbey is filmed, for an exclusive sit-down interview with Lady Carnarvon, who lives in the castle.
No way! That's amazing.
So I thought, I need to bring my grandmother with me.
Did you?
And I may or may not have left a little bit of her.
Oh my God.
On the grounds of Highclere Castle last week.
What did your family think about that?
I haven't told them yet.
Oh, okay. So there you go. They have to listen to this podcast.
Exactly. So it just happened. It just happened. And it was a beautiful moment, and it was just the perfect time. And yeah.
That's really sweet. So what are the characteristics that you said so many lovely things about your grandmother. What do you think you have adopted from her? Like, how are you like your grandmother?
I think any positive compliment that I get, or any compliment is positive, but any compliment I get from a stranger is something that I'd always say, oh, I get that from my grandmother.
Yeah.
But like, I think our family gets her sense of humor. We all like to have a laugh and laugh at silly things and make each other laugh. But we also have that stubborn streak in us, which we know where we get that from as well.
And was she a good cook? Like, do you have some recipes that, because that's something that my mom and my grandmother, like my grandma was such a good cook. That's all, she just cooked all the time. And then my mother adopted a lot of her recipes, and they were never identical, but they were equally they were just as awesome. Just there was something slightly different. And then I took on the best recipes, or the favorite things they did, I learned how to do myself. Also a little bit different. But that comfort cooking, what's something that your grandma made that?
Well, she was very creative. So she was always making quilts. So she made the most beautiful quilts. And I actually have, one of the quilts I have was the last quilt that her mother had started and she finished. So it's my great grandmother and my grandmother, made together.
I love that. You know what? My sister, one of the nicest gifts anyone's ever given me, my sister, from another mother, who I didn't really meet. I didn't meet until after my father passed away. So we were both older. And Roxy made me a quilt. And when she was asking me what I wanted, I jokingly said, I would love, like, she's like, what do you want to be on it? Like on the cover of the top side or whatever. And I was like, oh, I don't know, a bunch of cocks. And we had a good laugh about it. And then I was looking online and I'd send her pictures of like actual quilts that had penises all over them just for a laugh. And so time went on and I got this big box in the mail, and I was so excited. I was like, my penis quilt is here. And I opened it up, and it's like this stunning quilt. It's got all these beautiful, we both love horses. She was an equestrian and I used to ride when I was younger. And so it was a quilt with all these horses on it, but I didn't see any penises. And so I was like, aw, like this is built up. And then I called her to thank her for this incredible quilt. And she said, did you find the penis? And I was like, what? And she said, you didn't find the penis, did you? And then I looked closer, and there was like this, first of all, there was a little stitched on, like, to Christina, the infamous penis quilt from your sister Roxy kind of thing. And then on the back side, she had somebody stitch an actual penis ejaculating in the stitching. And so unless I told you, you came over and you know the story now, so you could find it probably. But unless I told someone like, hey, look for the penis stitched into the quilt, like nobody would know. Anyway, so quilts are special and they can have hidden meaning and inside jokes. Inside jokes, that's the best. Thanks, Roxy, for that amazing memory. But a quilt really is such an incredible piece of art, somebody's time, their hands, their attention, and it's time consuming. So do you have a quilt at your house from your grandma?
I do. I have several of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't like to use them. They're like put away. I do. I keep one in the guest room, and people always comment on it, but yeah, it's strange. And I think it's one of those things when you're not feeling well as well. I'm like, I'll go get the quilt and I'll like wrap up in it on the sofa or something.
Yeah. Well, my grandma gave me lots of lovely, beautiful things that my mom kept for me because I was off traveling the world for a while and not interested in these things, at the time. And now that I have them, I actually use them. Like I'm of the belief that nothing against keeping things and not using them and taking care of them, but I'm like, if I'm using it, I'm using the china, I'm using the gold plated utensils, and I'm using the penis quilt.
Yeah.
And that's how we'll end this podcast. I just no, but I want to talk to you forever, but I I know you are very busy. And I want to thank you for like reaching out that day and offering that tour, because like if you hadn't offered that, like I don't know if we would have met and spent all that time together. And it's a rare thing for us to have time on a tour or to really even get to know people.
Yeah.
And I do cherish that time we had with you. And we've made a couple of opportunities to get to see you when we were in London, and you've made the effort to come out to shows, and I really appreciate that. And I just think you're awesome, and everybody needs to go listen to Kev Jet and watch the videos. But is there anything else that's exciting that you haven't spilled the beans about that you want to mention?
Gosh,
get your list.
I have a huge list, but a lot of it actually I probably can't even bring up. But
we'll have to have you back.
If you're listening from Canada and you actually don't know what the connection is between Canada and Highclere Castle, which is where Downton Abbey is filmed, you need to go listen to that episode, because that was my Canada Day special this year. And Lady Carnarvon tells me all the connections between this beautiful castle that I'm sat in with her and forming Canada.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I love it. Okay, so what's next on your bucket list? Like coming up soon. What's the next I know you got the work change. That's a big transition, going part-time.
That's going to be new. It's going to be exciting as well. I'm going to look at it in an exciting way instead of stressful or sad. Yeah, I don't know. Well, there's so many cool guests lined up, and I'm excited for every conversation, and I'm excited to share the conversations and just kind of see what happens, because you just never know what happened. Every morning I get up and I open my inbox, and you just never know what is going to be sat there. And this morning there was another cool request, so watch this space.
I mean, and I'm excited to see you on Showing Up with Nancy Regan. I can't
wait. We're going to have some sort of showing here in London as well, because a big part of that show is us here in London. So we're going to do some sort of premiere or something fun, probably at Canada House, which would be quite fun.
Oh, yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
I love it. Congratulations.
Thank you. I can't wait to share it. And yeah, it's exciting.
It's love. I don't want to say goodbye to you. Oh, I don't want to say goodbye to you.
Welcome to the Heartbeat Hotline, 1-902-669-4769. I'm the host of A Chat with Heart podcast, Christina Martin, and I'm so excited you called. Leave me your question, a suggestion for the podcast, or a comment about this episode. Please be aware your message may be used on the podcast and social media. Tell me your name, where you're calling from, and it's also fine if you want to remain anonymous. Thanks for listening. Have a great fucking day. Hey, thanks for listening to A Chat with Heart, produced by me, Christina Martin. Co-produced and engineered by my partner in life and sound, Dale Murray. Dale's not just a wizard with knobs, he's also a killer singer-songwriter, session musician, and music producer. Go snoop around his world at dalemurray.ca. The podcast theme song, Talk About It, and I Don't Want to Say Goodbye to You were written by me and recorded by Dale. Want to support what we do? You can snag CDs, vinyl, digital music, and some weirdly delightful merch like custom puzzles and temporary tattoo packs over on my Bandcamp. If you're into keeping indie art alive or just want good karma, become a monthly or yearly member on my Patreon. It's a platform that helps creators get paid to keep making stuff we love. I swear by it. Sign up, free or paid, at patreon.com/Christina Martin. If this podcast made you laugh, cry, think, or rage text your best friend, do me a solid, share it, rate it, review it, and hit that follow or subscribe button wherever you get your podcasts. And to all my little heartbeat listeners, stay weird, stay tender, and I'll catch you next time.